Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special edition of the Wrestling Open Forum Show. No, it is not May 2nd, but with all this pandemic and everything going on, we decided we were going to throw you a bone, put out a free show so you can see what to expect. You can see we don't have the full set built yet. This is the first, like the initial start of it.
This is the bare bones right now.
This is the bare bones, but hey, why not? We have microphones. Me and Dutch are here. Let's do this special episode of the Wrestling Open Forum Show. All right, guys, you heard it right in the intro. We are back. It is the Wrestling Open Forum, and yes, we are supposed to kick off May 2nd on the Highspots Wrestling Network, but with everything that's going on and the lack of professional wrestling, we thought, why not throw out a special edition episode on social media so you can see what you can expect. And we have no idea how this is going to go. I called Dutch yesterday. I said, hey, I got a format. You want to come in? The studio's not done yet. We can make shift with what we got and throw this episode out there. And here we are.
A lot of back and forth, but we're here.
A lot of back and forth.
Yeah, we were trying to get that time, and
it was a struggle to make this thing happen, but we're here. We made it happen. We have new equipment, new lights, new studio that, like I said, isn't done.
We threw it together.
But yeah, we threw this one together. But hope you enjoy it. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 36, if it's going to happen or not. The most interesting Smackdown in the history of WWE.
Wild.
And independent wrestling, how all of this is affecting it. That's affecting us personally when it comes to independent wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to have fun. So I'm going to throw it to my co-host for the evening, the one and only Dutch. I haven't said that in a long time.
Dude, it feels good.
It does.
You know what I did before I came over here?
What'd you do?
When I was out at dinner with my friend, we actually were talking about the last show that we had with the Open Forum.
I don't even remember it.
Oof. Well, that's sad. Ouch.
Well, I mean,
not our last episode, but just going through our last... going through our episodes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And you know what came up? TNP, baby. Dude, TNP, man. If any of our former viewers remember TNP, oh, man. And the Dixie Carter promo?
Yes.
Oh, man. So we were going through that, and she was like, oh, man, I can't believe you're doing it again. I'm like, yeah, it's super ready.
We're trying it.
I'm pumped.
We have an idea. We have a theory. We're doing what we always do. Going with our gut, wanting to create, I guess, and we like talking about professional wrestling.
Yeah, I do. You know, the only person I talk to wrestling now is my brother.
And we try to get him here tonight for our 15-minute.
Yeah, Dylan, he has to work in the morning.
App.
Yep, 5 in the morning, so he couldn't make it tonight, but he will be a part of it. He's going to help us a lot with formatting, and I really want to put this out. I want to shout out Dylan real quick. He is super good about finding headlines that I didn't even know existed, and he'll bring them to my attention. And when we get down to the independent wrestling part, I'll point it out what he showed me and some of the things I want to talk about with you.
Okay. So I'm down. But like I said, the reason for doing this episode is because everything that's going on with the coronavirus, I'm not going to stick on it. I'm not going to talk about it a lot. Everybody just watch the news. It's going to tell you a bunch of stuff that's over-exaggerated.
Just be cautious, man.
But yeah,
wash your hands. You learned this when you were a child.
Yeah, just act like there's a disease out there, or I shouldn't say disease. Just act like there's a virus out there, a sickness, and you do everything you can not to get it, and you should be fine. Yeah. But
toilet paper, guys. Come on.
We want to do this to encourage you to go support our friends over at Highspots.com and Highspots Wrestling Network. They're in a situation with the possible cancellation of WrestleMania. Yeah. By the time this goes out, they might have already made a call, like the city of Tampa and WWE. I hope it's the right call. I hope it's a call that helps Mike and Highspots and everybody that works there. We're all losing money, but it's nothing compared to what's at risk for Mike. You can go on Highspots' YouTube page, and they have it. And Corky sat down with Mike and has a very in-depth and very personal conversation with them about what's at risk, what's going on. I encourage everyone to go watch that so you understand. And after you watch that, go buy a DVD. Does people buy DVDs anymore?
I do. If they're wrestling DVDs, yeah, I do.
Go buy a DVD. Go sign up $9.99 for the Highspots Wrestling Network. And just go support those guys because they're amazing. They're awesome crew. And, I hate it. I hate it for them.
This really sucks. I was just talking to Ethan about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, actually. I told him, I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever witnessed.
No, at no point in time, like what I keep thinking about is at no point in time until last week did I ever think that WrestleMania might be canceled or postponed.
Yeah, and last week, and I want to touch on this for a second, and we'll jump right back into what we're talking about. The one that really got me was no fans at the tournament, NCAA March Madness tournament.
Yeah.
But then when I really took a note of this, I was like, the NBA suspended their season. That's when I was kind of like, okay, whoa, what now?
Yeah.
But then the first thing I wanted to check after the NBA was WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very next thing because
that was the initial cautious moment that whenever the NBA announced that they were canceling their season or postponing their season or whatever they're doing,
yeah.
You're like, oh.
So what now? Yeah. So it's kind of like the NBA set the standard.
Yeah.
So now other sports, MLB, they have delayed their spring training.
Yeah.
Spring training now? Yeah.
Yeah. The spring training and the season.
And the season. That one is delayed now. NHL also.
Everybody. Every sport,
MLS.
Premier Soccer League.
Yeah. So they played in front of
no fans.
No fans, yeah. So I think that's an interesting idea because you still get your revenue, you still get your money, but at the same
you still
time,
get viewing revenue,
you get viewing revenue,
like television revenue. You don't get ticket revenue.
No, but you still get revenue. But you know how many people are still going to watch it though because they're like, well, we want to watch something. But I think the last one to not cancel, but suspend was the XFL.
Yeah.
The XFL I know was going to, and they were debating with no fans, but I think they decided. And wrestling related, come on, man, can we XFL? Like I love it, and I hate that it's now at this point again. It's kind of like a dagger, man.
Well, I enjoy the XFL.
I do too. I love it.
And I think it's done a lot better now than it was back then. Even though back
it's not
when
scripted now.
Back when it was initially
storylines
created and put through. Like the first couple of weeks, I was like, "Man, this stuff is awesome. This is great. This is the alternative." And then it just didn't carry. I feel like they've put more emphasis, and I didn't plan on talking about XFL today.
That's okay.
But I feel like they put more emphasis on players and quality of player, as opposed to the entertainment aspect of it.
And they have, and that's what makes it fun to watch because a lot of these players I know, it's really awesome to see Cardell Jones out there doing his. I was like, "This is badass." This is badass watching these players that didn't have a chance in the NFL that have a chance to showcase their talent.
Well, shooting back over to WrestleMania 36, do you think they're going to cancel or no? Disregard what we talked about beforehand. Before the show went live.
Like before that, as it feels right now, yes.
Okay.
I think Tampa pulls the plug.
Yeah,
I think
too.
the city itself understands the situation that they're in, and that if they don't pull the plug, there could be chaos, and they could be looked at a certain way. And I'm pretty sure the city doesn't want to be looked at a certain way, like, not taking it seriously, which you need to, once again. But something about WrestleMania is how many different countries will be at this.
That's the big thing.
At this event. There's so many people from so many countries that come over. Obviously, they're countries from Europe that come over here who are getting hit by this now. So it's Asia, China, Italy. I mean, dude, it's
all of Europe has a travel ban that won't let anybody from there come to WrestleMania.
Exactly. So that's a lot of ticket sales, man. That people are demanding refunds now.
I think for the
would you hold WrestleMania? Would you hold WrestleMania with no fans?
No.
Or would you postpone it?
Postpone it.
Would you postpone it?
I would. There would be no way I would do it with no fans, just because of the net revenue that comes in from the gate of WrestleMania
alone.
So if you do it with no fans, that doesn't only affect the company's business. That affects the payouts for the wrestlers. It affects the payouts for the crew. Mm-hmm. It affects so many pieces of the puzzle underneath. Just the standard WWE will lose money.
Tons.
I think that smartest thing to do is for the city to postpone it and
Have a summer WrestleMania?
and have it. I've heard that the possible return date is in June.
Okay, so that'd be 2 months before SummerSlam.
They probably see it. That's the weird thing about it is it's the same.
You can't cancel SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, but when is SummerSlam usually in June? Is it
July.
June pay-per-view, July pay-per-view? It would be before.
If I'm wrong, I'm
because
sorry. It's been a long
I've
time that I
heard-
kept up with
I
months
don't
and
know.
pay-per-views.
I've heard this from multiple sources that the return date is the first weekend in June.
You
so
think
that
this
would
pandemic
give.
will be over by then?
I do. I think this pandemic will be over by the end of March, but the world will.
Blow it up still.
I think that the stress level and the intensity of of being cautious
yeah.
will be kind of died down by the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we will carry it through either the middle of April or late April or like the end of April, just
Start
to
resuming stuff.
cover all the bases, just to
Yeah.
make sure everything is done.
Hey, you know what? You could do what the Suns are doing. They're simulating all their games on Twitch so you can watch them. They might actually have a chance to win some games. But you know what? 2K, this is your chance to shine and make up. Please don't do 2K20. Do 2K19. It's much cleaner. Jesus, my God.
True,
20 was a debacle. I know. I'm the gamer of it.
you are.
God. But just what they should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
Shelton Benjamin is a god when it comes to video games. Austin Creed is a god when it comes to video
Yes.
games. They need to do something on Twitch to help out the WWE.
Does WWE have a Twitch channel?
Sure, it's Austin Creed basically.
Okay.
Up, down, down. He
Yeah.
does stuff on there, but you got to do something like that because that's what the NBA is doing. A lot of these NBA players are now twitching themselves playing their
Yes.
regular season games, and it's
Yeah, you have to switch to a digital format. So before we get into the Smackdown, which is the next topic, and if you've never watched our show or listened to our show, we are available on iTunes. You can listen to all our back shows. It's under Wrestling Open Forum, of course. But we talk about WWE stuff. We also talk about independent wrestling and all this and that. And we're also going to cover, when we get on the Highspots Wrestling Network, we're going to cover different Highspots releases and little shoot interviews, if that's what you call them. Little
whatever
interviews
you
they
wanna
do in
call
all
it,
their
yeah.
shows, because there's some glorious moments in some of those videos that they produce and put out.
yeah.
But I'm going to run through the card real quick, and I know we're getting a little long-winded on these topics because we have a ton to go through on this special episode.
Is it long-winded if it's an important event?
No, I mean, but we were trying to keep it within a certain
Within time
frame.
limit, I get it.
We don't want to keep these people watching this on social media for 2 hours.
You're right.
This isn't a Joe Rogan podcast, not yet. But I'm going to
exploded
shoot
yet.
through all the matches for WrestleMania. Tell me the one you're looking forward to the most and one you're least looking forward to the most,
Oof.
and why. So this is going to be your test, Dutch.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Yep.
All right. So Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre, WWE Championship match. Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, Universal Championship match.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Is that how you say her last
Baszler.
name? Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
Raw Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, NXT Women's Championship match. Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And I believe is that all that's announced?
Taker and AJ Styles is being
Taker and
teased,
AJ.
Of course.
Let me kick back over to a more updated Cage Suit.
What's it
You
gonna
let
be?
me down.
Is it going to be John Morrison and The Miz
Is it-
against The New Day? I mean, they're
I mean,
teasing
that's-
that. I don't know if
yeah.
it's confirmed or not. You have that. The Raw Tag Team Championships, that's going.
Taker and AJ.
Yep.
Predictions, according to CBS Sports, is
It's a good one to follow. CBS
Yeah.
Sports is usually
Yeah.
pretty fun to listen or read on.
Edge and Randy Orton,
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Potential Intercontinental Championship.
Braun Strowman.
Intercontinental, easy for me to say. Intercontinental Championship match between Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman.
Have you ever watched wrestling, bro?
No. and then they assume there's going to be Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and a Women's Battle Royal.
Okay. Least excited about Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Whatever the
Calling it. I'm
freak
calling
it's
it right
called.
now.
Who
Rob Gronkowski wins
That's
that.
what I was thinking too. They've been on his ass
Yeah.
about that, and he's been training. He's been doing everything that he wants, and
Calling it.
I'm going to
You
call
heard
it
it here
right
first.
now. I'm going to say it right here, so everybody will go, damn, Dutch
Oh,
called
here we
it.
go.
Rob Gronkowski will be the savior for Mojo Rawley.
Oh, agreed.
He
100%.
will be the same. I thought that as soon as I read the report that he was coming back, or not coming back, but coming to the WWE, a month or so or a few weeks ago, whatever, the first thought I had was he's going to save Mojo's career. And it's not, I don't want to sound like a dick, but Mojo Rawley is not entertaining unless he has somebody with him.
I agree.
Him and Zack Ryder were very fun to watch. I think his recent gimmick changes have been super weird. They're funky. The blue thing on his face, I don't know if there's a story to it.
Hey, give him credit. He's trying.
That's what I was going to get to. He's trying everything he can to do something, but I just haven't been. But what the hell, man? What's that thing he's wearing?
His suit?
I hate it.
Oh, the Smackdown suit was amazing.
I didn't see the Smackdown suit. But the last one I saw was on Raw, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, Smackdown suit was amazing.
I'll have to look at that one. That was my least excited one. If Gronkowski shows up, I'll eat the crow and say it was awesome because I do want to see Gronkowski. He has the potential to be very good. He's a character. Most excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Those top four are very mouth-watering, and I know what you're thinking. Goldberg and Roman Reigns. Yes, because it's not going to be the match that everybody expects.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody expects a 5-star match out of everybody at WrestleMania. That's not the point of a Goldberg match, and he says it himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to give you a 5-star, a 4-star, a 3-star. I'm literally to come out here and do my job, and that's to put over whoever they want me to put over. That's what he does now.
Yeah.
Goldberg has been known as the man. He had 173 wins without no losses in WCW. He was the man in WCW. So his whole point is to put over the talent in WWE. Why is that a bad thing to put over Roman?
I agree with you, Dutch. Like we were talking before we went on air, and I think that Goldberg won the title because they've done a decent job of building up Roman Reigns this past year and getting people behind him. And I mean, bless him, he beat it. The cancer thing helped.
Yep.
And I know that's a real life situation, but
it's a crappy way to put it. But
from a business standpoint, it helped him get into that space of people liking him and people overlooking the fact that he was a golden boy for a few years. But also, I think that if Vince and the creative team was afraid, that I understand what they did with the Fiend, and I believe with the promos that are being cut, which we'll get into on the Smackdown topic that we're going to talk about next. The promos that have been cut, I think the Fiend and John Cena is way more marketable and going to be a better match than the Fiend versus Roman Reigns because, I don't care what anybody says, I don't think Roman's style and the Fiend style complement each other.
They do not.
And B, there is always a possibility of people booing Roman Reigns like they did Goldberg if he beat the Fiend for the title at WrestleMania.
Cheered. So it's interesting. That's why I bring up the Roman and Goldberg one because I'm a Goldberg fan.
Yeah.
I like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I just like wrestling.
Yeah.
Whether it's whether it's entertainment or pure wrestling, I like it. So at first when I saw that Bray Wyatt loss, I wasn't like, what the hell? I was more like, what?
Yeah.
I was more surprised by that.
Interested in where it's going to lead.
That's okay. So
that's what more fans need to do instead of jumping on something when it happens.
Yeah.
Try to figure out. Put your time and effort into trying to figure out where this is leading. Like, oh, okay, so they pulled the trigger on this. What comes next?
So that's where I was going next. Was what's next for Bray Wyatt? So obviously, initial reaction. What is it? The day after it leaked that you're going to have John Cena versus Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
I told my brother, why the hell would anybody want to see that? Then he started seeing the promos.
6 years ago. That's what people forget.
Yeah, and I forgot about that.
Me too.
And then when those promos start, I'm like, oh, freaking crap, man! This is 6 years in the making.
Yes.
This is whoa, and then that's when it hit me. Then I saw we're not gonna go there yet.
Okay.
The promo
We can segue. We can segue into it.
Okay. So the most interesting match for me, it's a tie. It's John Cena and The Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go, I want to say Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, but we all kind of know where that may go. We think Drew's going to take that one.
Oh, it's got to.
It has to. Like, the buildup has been, okay, everybody that craps on Lesnar, go back and watch how much he laid on the ground. It's sold for Drew.
Dude.
It was the best Royal Rumble moment I've seen in the past 15 years, 20 years.
You can shit on Brock Lesnar as much as you want, but he is one of the absolute best at putting someone over and getting someone over.
Who hates Brock Lesnar more than anybody in this world? Who hates Brock Lesnar?
You?
Me.
Yeah.
But my God, that dude can sell.
Dude,
so
he's
I want to say that
professional. Like
yeah.
if you want to see a professional that you might get mad at because he doesn't feel like wrestling.
It's because he wants
300
to do it
days
at the
a year.
Best of his ability.
He understands that he's an attraction and that he can draw tickets by showing up once a month or once every 2 months. And he understands that and he takes advantage of that. You can't fault him for taking advantage of that.
Thank you, Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Paul Heyman taught him that.
Yes. So he is the consummate professional because if someone deserves to be put over and he has the ability to do it,
he will.
Because he understands it, because he understands what The Undertaker did for him at WrestleMania.
Who made the phone call to Goldberg to put him up? Oh, that's right. It's Lesnar.
Yeah.
Lesnar's the one that pushed Goldberg in 2017. Survivor Series. Who played that match? That's right. It's Lesnar and Heyman.
I mean,
like that's all Lesnar and Heyman. So I would want to say that one, and that's just because of I really want Drew to win it. But when it comes down to it, least excited, Andre Battle Royal. Most excited besides The Fiend and John Cena, I'm really interested in that one, is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
I think it'll be good.
My God.
I think Rhea beats Charlotte.
I think so, too.
I mean, dude,
they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
This is a WrestleMania where a lot of torches are going to be passed.
Yes. I think,
which is interesting because it's got a pirate theme.
So you have The Fiend over on Cena.
Yep.
You have
Rhea over on Charlotte.
Rhea over Charlotte.
Drew over Brock.
Becky loses to Baszler.
I don't know. That might have been the original plan.
I think so.
But I don't think Baszler's looked strong the last couple. I mean, she
dominated the chamber.
Yeah, but not to the extent that she could have. I mean, if you listen if you listen to Busted Open Radio, and like I'm hit or miss with Bubba Ray, man. He says some stuff, and I'm like, man, you're just trying to throw your weight around. Then he says other stuff that it's like he's got a solid point on it.
You think is that because it's two businessmen trying to,
maybe. I mean, I think like.
You would obviously have a beer
personally,
with him.
I've had like interactions with him, like in
that's
in
what
real
I'm saying.
life.
Obviously, you would have a beer with him.
Yeah. He's always been super cool, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Like I never had a like sideways interaction with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some of his viewpoints are I feel like aren't.
So
I don't know.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said he was talking about. The clip that I listened to, which I listened to the whole part where he's talking about, because it interests me when he's talking about Baszler, is he said that whenever she tapped out someone in front of Asuka, she tapped her out and then sat on the rope, like staring her in the face, like sat on the rope, stared her down, and then she like got up and walked around. And he was saying like there so much more could be told in that moment if she understood what she was like, understood how to do it. Like if she would have sat on the rope and just stared at Asuka, or even got up and walked up to the chamber, whatever it's called, the little plate thing that holds them in the chamber.
Talking about Liv Morgan?
Maybe.
I think she tapped her out.
She tapped her out outside the ring.
Yeah.
And then sat on the rope and looked at. I haven't seen it. This is just what I was listening.
Yeah.
And I understand what he's saying. That's what I'm saying.
So
it's like whenever she broke.
What else is there for her to do? I understand what you're saying. Like
he was just saying whenever, like if you're trying to sell that intensity, like keep that intensity.
I'm sorry.
Don't.
I'm gonna chime in real quick.
Okay.
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
if it was me, and I was talking to Baszler,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the intensity look from Baszler.
Wow.
I
That's her whole gimmick.
I like the cocky Baszler. She's always been cocky. Go back and watch her NXT stuff. She's always cocky no matter what. When she beats the hell out of somebody, she's like, crap eating grin almost.
Oh, you
crap
say
eating
it.
grin.
Yeah, we're not
Okay.
censored, I don't think.
But the point I'm making is she's always been cocky.
Yeah.
Don't change it up. Let her be cocky. I'm like, okay, this is
yeah,
nothing.
but you have to take into consideration. I understand that piece of the character, but you're talking about Asuka, which I assume the mindset is these are two former NXT champions.
Yeah. So
and,
she
and
goes,
Asuka's supposed to be the biggest badass in the women's division.
right.
And so
Besides the man,
besides Becky Lynch,
Yep.
which I don't think they're not on the same show.
they were fighting for a little bit. Yeah, they are. They are.
SmackDown?
Yeah. No, Raw.
Is Battle
I don't know why. I think what's her name was on the show for the purpose of what was going on.
Was the
No,
Chamber SmackDown in Raw Superstars?
I think it was Raw.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it was Raw because Liv Morgan was in
and I
there.
might have people,
Baszler,
and I might
Baszler.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I apologize to everyone.
We haven't been able to catch
all the
up.
people listening at home. I'm just talking about something I heard Bully Ray say.
Yeah.
Or Bubba Ray, whatever the hell his name is. But like I understood his point.
Right.
Like if you've captured that intensity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think that if the object of, from what I've read and what I've heard in podcasts and interviews and people talking about the pay-per-view, is the objective of that chamber match
Yes. Was
to
over.
make Baszler look like a complete badass.
Right. Yeah.
And if that's the case, she has the opportunity to stand up and stare down who is considered the biggest badass outside of Becky Lynch. Like that's what you do. You don't turn your back to her and walk around.
Yeah.
So there's just little stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know
And
that comment was going to make me have to explain his
Hey, that's what we're doing here on the show is to explain. So, where were we going with that? Oh,
Smackdown.
The WrestleMania card. Anyways, Baszler, Becky Lynch matches, whatever. So it's Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair for me. Alongside with John Cena, Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
And then least favorite, obviously, Andre.
So
there's that. So that's leading into SmackDown.
Dude,
Speechless. Seriously,
it was insane.
And they even acted like people were there.
Well, initially.
And
initially. Like Bailey did.
Well, let's go.
And I'm like,
nope, stop that. I wonder if Hunter's was like, felt
my first mindset would be like, I mean, it's got to be interesting.
That was the awkward moment for me. That was awkward.
The Bailey thing?
Yes.
For me, the weirdest, well, not really weird. My first thought in thinking about the whole SmackDown, no audience, just a empty performance center, and I had already seen the performance center from the NXT taping. I was sitting there and I was like, why not just play to the cameras the entire time?
Yeah,
like just talk to the like if you don't have an audience, people can hear you talk.
That's your crowd.
Like talk to the crowd watching at home the entire time.
Yes.
When you cut a promo, you grab the camera and you talk to the camera.
Yes.
You don't talk to the crowd.
Exactly.
And I understand, like they do this day in, day out. That's they're in their routine. They're doing their stick. But yeah, I thought that would make it one thing. That would make it more of a special presentation and
more appetizing.
But one thing that I know when I wrestled, and I think it's a general consensus of training and this and that, is one of the hardest things to do is to bump in front of nobody. Yeah.
It sounds so different.
The hardest things to do is to bump in front of nobody.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that energy. You don't have that adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done it on a live broadcast with nobody in front of it, like with nobody in the arena. But yeah, dude, bless them, man, because there was some good matches.
Looked like Cesaro. No, I'm going to tell you now. I watched the highlights.
Yeah. You pulled the Patrick.
Yeah,
That's the
I had to
Patrick who's
do the
watching
highlights just because it's been so chaotic with everything that's going on with the coronavirus. So I've been highlighting everything. To put a point in this, I watched Revolution from beginning to end. So
Finally.
Yeah. Oh, super good. Super
Yeah.
good. We'll talk about that. But anyways, I'm just lost, man.
Just at the empty arena?
The empty arena. It was
It's-
so different.
I mean, I'm going to go the opposite of like if you look online, people talk about how awkward it was, how weird it was, how like somebody played.
It's not
But
even. It wasn't awkward as a whole. It was awkward at the beginning because of Bailey trying to pretend there was a crowd there. For me,
Well, that's just
it was,
one mistake.
It was,
but
yeah. So, like I said, that was my awkward moment. I was like, ooh. But then as I watched more,
yeah,
and I saw more, like you have professionals like Cesaro and Daniel Bryan.
yeah.
Man, they could have had Hunter and Michael Cole watching, or 30,000 people, and they're still going to wrestle the same exact way.
One thing that I loved about this episode of SmackDown is that you could hear every punch, you could hear every uppercut, you could hear every slam.
It was pleasing.
You could hear and I think everybody did such a good job of keeping that volume up to give that movie-esque feel to the program.
Yeah, there's two things on SmackDown that I enjoyed. Go back and watch when Cesaro's doing his uppercuts.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them, bop, 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 bop,
Yeah.
bop, 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 and then the referee, every one of them, and then the referee, yeah.
Yeah, you can hear the referees. It's like
it
you
was
have
more in tuned.
It's like you have an insight into what it's like to be in the ring.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way to put it. If you were had your own 2 feet in the ring, and you were, and then the other one, Bray Wyatt.
Oh,
Let's go on this.
okay. I'm riding with you because I want to talk about this.
Oh my God.
And John Cena too.
So that's what I was gonna say. John Cena, when he said what he said, was overhyped.
Yeah.
Piece of.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I was like, damn. Okay, that's like that's one of those moments when you're sitting with family, and I'm like, well, Uncle Todd said this, and you're like, oh God. Almighty.
Let me tell you about Uncle Todd.
Ooh, dang! Why do you gotta say that? It's like, John, for real.
Dude,
And then
I love it.
And then the Fiend or Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Just switch, man. He has
the way they worked all that just shows you how genius. And this is the last time I'll put over John Cena in this podcast or this show. Like the genius of John Cena and Bray Wyatt is how they structured that entire segment.
that promo. Yeah, it
was insane, and the fact that they are like two boxers trying to sell a fight. They put it out. They look at each other and they say, "Hey, no holds barred. Throw whatever you got at me.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel like you need to say,
And
say it to me, and I'm going to say exactly what I want to say about you. And we're not going to take it personal. It's just business.
I don't think.
But we're gonna sell this fight.
no scripts.
No,
It was
I
a
don't
no
think so.
script. There might have been a few bullet points,
Mm-hmm.
like very, very few bullet points, but that was a very non-scripted promo.
Oh yeah,
And that's where I want to put over. Okay, we don't have to put over Cena because we know what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I still to this day think that Bray Wyatt is one of the most underrated wrestlers today.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Even with the title, he doesn't need a title, but he's just so good.
Yeah.
In the ring, he can make you believe anything. Everything he's done with this Fiend character is just beautiful.
Brilliant.
That's the best word. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love the Firefly Funhouse.
No flaws. That's another word. There's no flaws. You could unless you just like dive deep and stretch for flaws. Like
The
there's
only
no
thing
flaws in that gimmick.
The only thing I didn't like at first was the red lighting. It's very hard on the eyes.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard
understand what they were doing. It's a like a horror movie type of S.
I get it.
Yeah.
I would, if I were WWE, I would try to work something else with a different color, different type of lighting. It's hard. I don't know how the fans seem to love it.
Yeah. I feel like it comes across live a lot better than it came across on video.
Sure, yeah, it probably does. But
yeah.
digressing back to SmackDown, that promo, just watching bits and pieces of it, I can't wait to watch the full thing.
Another thing I'm pissed off about is nobody went out into the crowd. Seriously.
Not
if you
one
have an
person.
empty arena, like go Terry Funk.
Did Sunday Night Heat do this? Empty arena match?
Maybe. Yes.
Everybody watching
during Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Foley, Foley and Rock.
Yeah, okay.
But like every time I've ever seen a match, like a empty arena match, they go out and tear up the chairs. Like you're not filming anything till Monday at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Like you have all weekend to reset up those chairs. Go tear them up.
Go get the chair crew that we have at PWX. There you go.
Speaking of PWX, let's talk about some independent wrestling.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
How crazy is the world of independent wrestling right now with everything that's going on?
Well, I didn't expect to get the phone call.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
we tried our best.
As
did everyone. I've talked to.
I anticipated
Listen, I've talked to probably 10 promoters in the past week, of some of them small promotions, some of them bigger independent promotions. And like everybody said the same thing. Like I didn't want to do it, but I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the general feeling. And I'm gonna take a left turn on this and talk about. I don't want to just litter the entire show and podcast about the coronavirus situation. But one thing I do want to talk about,
loosely based.
Yeah, one thing I do want to talk about is me and one of my friends that's a professional wrestler was talking the other day. And do you think
no name drop?
No,
okay,
because I don't like them. Do you think this will hurt independent wrestling or help independent wrestling? Financially, I understand that's not a financial question. Financially, it's going to hurt independent wrestlers, promotions. People that had scheduled shows in either Tampa or their local markets.
If anything,
in a broad spectrum, do you think it's going to hurt or help professional wrestling or independent wrestling for that matter?
I see how it hurts financially, right?
Yeah.
But hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Is it crazy that I think it could help it?
No, because that's what I feel.
Okay, so I was going to say I think it could, because when you get that. When you're able to showcase your talent again, oh my God, the draw.
Yeah.
Holy Christ, the boom that you're going to get. Well, damn, I didn't get to go to PWX and see Rise of a Champion.
Yeah.
Well, I got a chance to go to a wrestling show. People get that itch.
Well, the thing is it's not like...
It's not just PWX, though. It's
all that's the thing.
Of independent.
That's where I'm at.
Can we say AEW?
Yeah.
So AEW...
Well, AEW is still doing theirs, but doing it in front of...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No fans,
yeah.
But it's not that you like one of the local promotions in the area are canceling a show, and you have the opportunity to go to another one. Like this is basically telling a lot of wrestling fans, and for that matter, in the world, sports fans, that listen, you're not going to see any of this. You're not going to like. Luckily, we have places like AEW and WWE that have buildings or arenas that they can run with no crowd.
Yeah.
So we get to watch wrestling, but not wrestling in its purest form. Well, it is wrestling in its purest form, but not wrestling as we're acquired and accustomed to.
Training is pretty pure.
Yeah.
That's basically what it's doing.
Yeah. But it's but yeah, I think that whenever the green light goes and everybody's like, we're good, you can do shows again. And those first couple shows, if anything, like I've had the conversation with people in the past year or so that everybody talks about this boom in professional wrestling, and I don't want to open up a whole new bubble to talk about, but this boom in professional wrestling because AEW started, because WWE is doing okay, because the independents are doing good. We have WXW, you have Progress, you have Ring of Honor for
I was wondering if you're
going to say that, but they're like not to shit on Ring of Honor. I feel like they're doing better. I feel like they're
haven't
headed.
Seen anything yet.
I feel like they're headed in the right direction, and that's what I want for them, because I have friends that wrestle for them, and anybody that can get a paycheck for wrestling, I'll encourage them to be able to get that paycheck.
Yeah,
because that's what we all want to do.
NWA Power,
like New Japan.
Yeah,
it's like you don't have
independent though.
You don't have the ability to just go and see another show.
Yeah.
This is cutting the life, like just cutting it out
Cold
completely.
turkey.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh my god, what?
What do I do?
I'm gonna have to go watch on demand stuff.
Yeah.
Where that you can
yeah.
find at highspotswrestlingnetwork.com.
Good plug.
$9.99.
Good plug. I like that.
Go now. Pause the podcast. Open up a new browser window. Sign up. $9.99. You might even get the first week free. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Oh, wait a
Let
second.
me make a phone call.
Give him a second real quick. Go do it. We're waiting. Okay, thank you. About time. Damn, Jesus.
I know.
Took you long enough.
I think that if the false boom that people spoke about, and that in turn oversaturated our market, might get deleted because of this restart.
Yeah.
Or this hard restart.
Yeah. It's a hard restart, too.
And listen, I'm guilty of it. I'm not calling out fans. I think that sometimes you get too comfortable with being able to go see a good independent wrestling show.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough to live in an area in the United States where there is a very good independent, and you get to go to those shows every month, every other week, whatever they do, like you don't understand the, I don't want to say privilege,
Well, I was going to say that. I'm glad you said that, because especially in the area that we live in, it's fantastic for independent wrestling.
Yes.
It is you want raw talent. This is where it's at. You ever want to know? Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, like South Carolina.
Yeah,
like
Northeast. I mean, there's hotbeds everywhere.
Yeah, and there's a very good one right here.
Yes.
Very good. But, like, where do you think all that raw talent goes to when it becomes, like, the best promotions out there, though?
Well, I think we're at a weird spot now where the way that you drew people, like the old school way that you can draw a crowd of 500, 600 people, is you build up your talent,
yeah,
and then you bring in two names. Build up your talent, bring in two names. The problem with that is now WWE has swooped in and swept up a lot of that good talent, to where now you have to go to. Well, we used to go to like PWX, for example. We used to go to Ring of Honor. Used to bring in Steen. Used to bring in Eddie Edwards. Used to bring in the Briscoes. Used to bring in Generico. Used to bring in these people that the Ring of Honor comes to Charlotte once. Well, it used to come to Charlotte. Now it comes a little more. Used to come to Charlotte once a year, once every 2 years. This is before Sinclair owned them and all this and that. And so the draw was we had an in with a lot of their talents, and they'd come down and for good rates. We went through them. We got them a good booking. Yeah. They were getting paid from Ring of Honor, and it was a deal. Now it's hard to find those good talents, and even with those good talents, there's like they can be hot on the indies, but not as hot as as some talents before them once were.
Yeah.
Just because, once again, it's oversaturated. Like, the market is oversaturated. You have the East Coast guys that are hot on the East Coast, the Midwest guys who are hot on the Midwest, the Northeast guys who are hot in the Northeast that might not draw in your area because they could be amazing wrestlers. I'm not saying anything about their wrestling ability. It's just that they haven't had the platform to get their name out.
I was going to say, they just don't draw in certain areas. For
example,
just don't.
Before Ring of Honor picked up Bandito, Dragon out in PWG was using him.
Yeah.
And when all that happened, Ring of Honor gets credit for Bandito's big rise.
Yeah.
But Dragon is the one that brought a lot of those Mexican wrestlers to the States.
Yeah.
For Bola.
Right.
Like Bandito, Rey Juarez, who was in Lucha Underground before, but it was like parallel.
Is Flamita still doing that too?
Flamita. Yeah. Black Taurus.
Mm-hmm. There's a ton of them though.
Like I saw Caveman, and who at the last WrestleCon.
A lot of these guys, I believe, were doing the Crash Lucha.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
Crash. Yeah,
They do Crash.
and like, is that the new
Wave?
wave?
Yeah, dude.
Do you bring in people from England? Do you bring in people from Mexico?
I'm just saying.
It's
I'm a fan of it.
yeah, and that's
I'm a huge fan of mass wrestling. We know this.
yes, and
God, I love it.
We have to figure out. When I say we
As
as
a-
a company,
as
but
a-
us as a
yeah.
collective of independent wrestling is like what draws again, because the formula is different than it used to be.
Right.
And you have to adapt to the environment, adapt to what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
What worked yesterday might not work today.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's all just general knowledge for professional wrestling, but it's going to be interesting. I think that the boom, what I was trying to get at before I went on this big rant, I apologize, Dutch, stealing some of your mic time, but I know you like my rants every once in a while.
Just waiting for him to shut the hell up.
But my bad. I'm sorry, Dutch.
I love you, man.
I know. I love you too. Basically what I'm
mean
trying to get to is the rule of thumb for booking someone is A, can you make your money back? And B, are you investing in them?
Okay.
So if someone is willing to give you a better rate for more dates, then you invest into a storyline with them. And out of that, if you're going to continuously use them like throughout, then you can put them over in that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, and it's just an agreement that we're going to do these X amount of dates, then you create something that gets one of your local stars over to make them more marketable.
Sure.
to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
audience.
yeah.
and
Which is
then-
the idea.
And then the one-offs are, okay, they want this amount of money. Can we make it back in ticket sales if we pay them?
Sure.
And that's just business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like you said, you got your one-offs. It's, like Matt Seidel.
Yeah.
Brought him in for X16. He got a win over on talent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
I mean,
then Harlem got a win over on him.
filming, I did want to know
Mhm.
because I'm a big fan of X16. I like
Yeah.
to see how that plays out. So, when that happened, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked, and
It was good.
it was.
It's like you keep
fantastic.
people guessing.
Yeah, it's good.
But-
Good job.
All right, so we went a little long-winded, and it's late,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna go home. And
we have a
knock
lot
out.
more to talk about on May 2nd,
Yeah, yeah.
our debut episode. So I encourage you again to go to highspots.com, buy you something, buy you some merch, buy you some New Japan stuff, buy you some Highspots shirts, buy you some masks, buy you some wrestling rings, wrestling
So-
gear, whatever you want to buy.
Especially with this time.
Especially
with
support 'em.
this time. If you're a wrestling fan, this is the time to buy somebody's shirt. Like you said, their mask. I don't care if it's a damn pin that you put on your shirt. Like, these guys depend on this kind of merch sales to help them pay their bills, just like we do. They don't get to walk in to a shoot job like we have. Some of them ultimately rely on this.
Yeah, this is their business.
And this really is like a, hey, you know what? Let's help them out too.
And if you don't want to buy like a physical item, you can go to highspotswrestlingnetwork.com, sign up for their monthly subscription. You get to see tons of footage.
Check it out, man.
All the PWX, a lot of PWG, a lot of like their own shows with Mance Warner and Fireside Chat with Jake Manning. The Besties have a show. Ethan Page has a show. Like it's insane of how much content they put
not
out.
just shows, but actual wrestling shows
Yeah.
too. There's a ton. There's
Yeah.
so much.
So highspots.com, highspotswrestlingnetwork.com, and wrestlingopenforum.com. Check it out. Go listen to some of our old episodes. Get ready for May 2nd. Everyone stay safe. Everyone stay clean. We'll get through this, and when we get through this, we're going to come out on the better side of it.
Sing happy birthday.
What?
Sing happy birthday when you wash your hands.
Is that the thing?
Or you can sing Chris Jericho's chorus. There's one for you.
There we go.
Same month.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching this special episode. Remember, you can find us on the Highspots Wrestling Network. Debut episode is May 2nd. Until then, check out WrestlingOpenForum.com. Follow us on social medias, Open Forum Show, and Wrestling Open Forum on Facebook and Twitter. Check us out.
We'll be there.
For Dutch,
For Patrick.
we're out.
Bye.